Hello everyone. I was asked to make a short video to show what's been occupying my time for the last month or so. Welcome to Pine Lodge. One of the first things that we needed to do was make this track actually passable to traffic. There was about 30 tons of stone that went into this in the first week that we were here. This corner in particular, it was just a lake by the time we started doing stuff. So we put a lot of stone into that, and it seems to be working. It seems to be draining pretty well. It seems to be a nice hard track now. And that's looking down towards the house. And there's the house. That's the front of it. And there's this nice little stone barn on the side of it. And then there's this nice little concrete stable yard with a stable block behind. And that's the tree that I felled on the house. And that's the house I felled it on, but it seems to have survived, so that's good. There was one of the big larch trees that's in the garden that was down across the land. So one of the first things that I did was go down and clear some of the brambles and cut that up into bits. And there was a caravan on the land that it would appear a tree fell on in about 1988, and it sat there since. So as I started to dismantle it, it was like a time capsule, seeing everything. Hopefully we'll be able to reuse most of that stuff. And again, so everything up until here this is basically the garden of the house, and it was just a bramble thicket when we moved in, so I've basically spent hours with a trashing hook. And as you start to open bits of it up, there's these little tiny corners which are really interesting to go and find. So this is one of my favourite bits, where you kind of go down through the trees with that little elder trying to grow, and then there's a little grove of holly saplings here, which is really nice and green and nice and calm and nice and still. And that's Moon. This is Kirsty's horse. And that's Georgie. He comes up to about my knees, and that's Arnie. And this is one of the fields closest to the house, so that's the back of the stables there, and the Dutch barn. The end of it came off in Storm Dennis. And that's a daffodil. And this is basically our closest neighbour. They seem to be taking social distancing quite seriously, in that they've clearly not been there for about 50 years, or whatever. That style of Saturday morning's work. This is the sunken lane, which is the right of access to the ruined place next door. And then this is climbing up into one of our other fields. At some point the land is going to take a lot of work as well. Most of the fences and the hedges are gone as well, so it's going to take some work before we can sort that out. And that's Winter, our Labradoodle. And again, this is one of those bits of the land where you just kind of find this sort of strange little pocket that's just absolutely lovely. So off to the left here is this forest of thorn trees, kind of young thorn trees, and then there's this section here. And we've been trying to sort of piece out exactly what went where, and all these little sunken paths and lanes and stuff. And most of the hedge banks are covered in these wonderful old thorn trees that have just kind of split and fallen over and then carried on growing. And this is Pine Lodge Meadow Triple SI that we've somewhat unwittingly ended up with as well. So it's notified for being grassland. There's a lot of bramble and bracken that's encroaching as well. And this is the sort of far border of it as it starts to drop down towards the river. And so I'm not quite sure how much this sort of hazel and birch woodland is supposed to be encroaching into it, so we might need to speak to the Carnage team and get that sorted, and maybe have a look at what we can do there. And again, this is the far end of the Triple SI, so because we're quite high and because we're north facing, everything's quite late coming out here. So as you can see, that little hawthorn was just starting to come into leaf. But there's all these little game trails and stuff all across the land, kind of thing. So clearly there's foxes and badgers and all sorts sort of about. And this is the view of the Triple SI from the far end. Thanks for watching.